Hey everyone, thanks for coming to my new website, realxpac.com. In this segment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer some questions that some of you folks have sent to me via my email, sean@realxpac.com. The first one is from a gentleman named Kip. I'm not going to read his email address just in case he doesn't want it public. Kip writes, "Hi Sean. Was just wondering how Scott Hall is doing, and have you seen him lately? I had read somewhere very recently he wasn't doing very well, and his wife was worried that he may be in his final days. I'm sorry, and hope you take no offense in me asking." No, I don't, Kip. I don't take offense in you asking, and I don't have to answer your question, but I choose to because I know Scott and myself and definitely, I'll speak for Kevin, Sean, and Hunter. We're all grateful for your concern. Scott seems to be doing really well at the moment, and I'm very grateful for that. Yeah, there was at that time that his ex-wife was going on a Twitter rant and Facebook rant and all over the internet. Scott wasn't doing the best, to put it mildly. But he sounds really good right now, and I'm just grateful for that. So appreciate your question, Kip, and thank you very much. And on to the next question. Question number 2 comes from Prakhar Chandra. And he or she, sorry, I don't know if it's a girl or a boy, Prakhar writes, "Hi Sean, I'm a big fan of yours and I have a couple of questions. Part 1 of the question is, who came up with the idea of DX invading WCW? And I'm going to have to say that I'm pretty sure it was Vince Russo's idea, obviously with the blessing of Vince McMahon, because nothing gets past Vince McMahon, that is. But as much as I disagree with Vince Russo philosophically on a lot of things having to do with wrestling, that was an amazing idea. And I actually even suggested that they give WWE a taste of their own medicine and try to invade them when I first came back to TNA last year. But they didn't seem to have the balls to do it. So that was when they were talking about firing the first shot in the new Monday Night Wars, which really, if they were serious about doing it, that's what they should have done, and they didn't do it. So anyway, so that was part 1 of the question, and part 2 is, what do you think about WWE removing wrestling from their title? I think that big deal. It's still wrestling. I read an article about Randy Savage that Vince just wrote, and he still even referred to it as wrestling. I don't know if he did it on accident or whatever, but, it's still wrestling, everybody. And just removing the word wrestling from the title doesn't change that, and I wish people wouldn't necessarily make such a huge deal about it. And definitely, let's not let it get in the way of enjoying the product when it's good. But thank you so much for your question, Prakhar, and on to the next one. Okay, this is from Chris Pilati, and Chris says, "Hi Sean, thanks for taking the time to read this and maybe answer it." Well, I'm answering it because it's a good question. How did you initially become friends with Scott, Kevin, and Sean? Did you know any of them prior to entering WWF or met them there? Well, I knew Kevin. I met Kevin when he was with WCW. I met Kevin and Steve Austin at the same time when I was visiting Raven at a Minnesota house show for WCW. So I knew Kevin just from that. And then once, Kevin and I came to WWF at the same time. And I was under, Kevin was obviously Sean's bodyguard, so he drove with Sean. Kurt Hennig was still wrestling on the road at the time, and Kurt took me under his wing as he did Sean and Scott, previously. And back, going all the way back to the AWA days. So, eventually Kurt got hurt again and decided to, take some time off, and believe he even collected Lloyd's of London again. I think he got 2 or 3 payoffs out of Lloyd's of London, but God bless you, Kurt, for that, man. Anyways, so what happened was this. Kurt left. Scott and I had a good relationship because we had that successful storyline going, the 1, 2, 3 Kid Razor Ramon story. And something like that tends to bring guys together and give them a better rapport with each other. Whenever I've ever gone out there and rocked it in the ring with the guy, even if I didn't know him very well, like afterwards, you just have you feel a stronger bond with the person. So anyways, try to make a long story short, ended up all, Scott, Sean, Kevin, and I driving together, and what we realized was that while everybody else was driving down the road, talking about, picking up women, going out to the bars, and, every other thing but our job, the 4 of us, all we did was drive down the road. Mind you, we were getting messed up. But besides that, all we did was talk about the business, talk about how to make it better, talk about great angles, storylines, and it just, we became so tight that we became inseparable. And then along came Hunter, and he was fresh out of WCW, and pretty much kind of, he came in there, didn't really have any friends there, and we knew right away he's going to be a huge star. And so we were like, hey, you're with us. And we just basically kidnapped him. I think we actually took him away from Killer Kowalski and made him ride with us, and he fit in phenomenally, considering he was sober and we were always screwed up. God bless you, Hunter, for that, by the way. But just another brain added to the mix, and the rest is history. The Clique was born. So, anyways, I want to thank you all for sending the questions. Keep them coming, and please keep on visiting realxpac.com, and also keep an eye out for my latest blog coming out in the next couple of days. All right, thanks a lot. Take care.